Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we're going to bring you action for Moundridge versus Sterling. Sterling girls are 0-6, looking to get in the win column for the first time this season, taking on the 4-1 Moundridge Wildcats. Took their first loss of the season to Little River, and they got back in the win column against Sedgwick in a pretty dominating game by the Cats, and should be a pretty good one here. Sterling really likes to push the ball a lot, and they should have a successful night so long as they can contain the Cats, slow them down, make them force turnovers, which have been so big all season. We talked about the turnovers with the Wildcat. They really cut it down. They're still averaging 13.2 turnovers a game this season, but they really strive on the rebounding too, as well. 32 rebounds a game this season. They're really taking teams' chances at second chance point opportunities away. Starting lineups are coming out, and we will go to the national anthem. Starting for the Wildcats, Addie Patrick, number 2, has had a pretty solid season here, averaging 6.3 points a game, shooting 32% from 3. She's been a sharpshooter. The Cats have needed to get games started out early a lot. Cami Unruh, also a starter for the Cats. She has been tremendous this season, with averaging 3.3 steals a game defensively, and that has been so huge for the Cats, as they really have taken the life out of teams. And defensively, like I said earlier in pregame a little bit, is they take second chance opportunities away a lot, and that's one of the biggest strengths about the Cats. Tipping off here, Sterling in the black, Moundridge in the white, as so far they look to go off and quest to go undefeated in HOA play. Looks to go to 5-1, and not taking a loss early was one of the biggest things they wanted to do. They did that. They did win the preseason tournament. They ended up taking a loss to a strong Little River team who's a very talented team. You're probably going to see them again in state, and even possibility of meeting again is huge. Starters for Sterling is number 1, Blaine Locke. Number 2, Shaklar Olson. Number 4, Julia Wohler. Number 20, Aaliyah Ravenstein. And number 42, Haley Garrett. And tipping it off here early as Unruh drives through and lays one up and through. Cami Unruh on the board already. So strong inside too. Really likes to go to that Euro stop. Levitates through defenders with ease. He's pushing through this one. Ravenstein with one up top, and she will get the end. 1 to go. Trading points here. Ravenstein's first is good, so it's a 3-point play. And Sterling, one of their biggest things is wanting to start out strong. You can't turn the ball over in the press, and they're running a press of their own. As Kamiko off the top of the elbow now, right back to Patrick. She thinks about a 3, doesn't take it. And Unruh kind of wide open, and they're going to call a foul. Patrick doesn't see her. A big game coming up after this with the guys. Both teams undefeated in HOA play. Sterling's only loss was to Great Bend in the Eagle Classic. Unruh finds her sister. Patrick's 3-pointer now is just off the top of the iron. Looking one up. Here's Olson's 3-pointer just off the top of the rim again. As Peacock's is 3 again. As Unruh now steals this one, trying a short corner up top again. As going back and forth. Unruh weaves through the lane and puts one up. Cami Unruh, Wildcats lead by 1. That's her 4th point of the game. Here's Wohler, and again deflected by Unruh, playing some great defense here, and another turnover for the Black Bears. And Hattie Hecox flies through the lane, and he's gonna get fouled. Cox's first is just off. Pretty good free throw shooter is Hattie, as she is 71%, 10 for 14 before coming in, now 10 for 15, but shooting over 50, and she's been a real strength for the Cats from the line. Garrett with the rebound. Here's Wohler pressuring. And the Wildcats have forced 3 turnovers in a row. Looking again, and it's stolen by Unruh. She pushes up the floor, wants to find Patrick. She does, and Patrick's baseline jumper is good. 6'3", 6'02". Looks to get this one into Garrett. Have not got a lot of post opportunities so far, and there's another reason why, as Black Bears have just been turning it over. As Unruh down to Patrick. Patrick's 3-pointer just off the top, and rebounded by Hecox. There's another one of those offensive rebounds, averaging 15.3 a game. And Kamiko pierces the zone and puts one in. 8-3, 5:27. Timeout. Sterling, 30 seconds. Macy Kamiko, some of the best footwork on this team. Loves to spin back out and then spin right back down to the left. She really pierced through that 2-3 zone the Black Bears are in, so it's double coverage. welcome back. 8-3, 5:27. Moundridge is playing some extraordinary defense here. Sterling with 4 turnovers in the first quarter, as this press has been killer for Moundridge. And driving through, Garrett needs to find someone here, and she'll find Ravenston. Ravenston thinks about one, passes one up, gives it to Locke. Locke back out here now to Wilkie, and Garrett's stop and pop. It's a great defense by Macy Kamiko. And again, you know, they're doing a great job cleaning the boards and clearing it, and she's getting a lot of great opportunities as Unruh will travel. Yeah, they do a great job cleaning the glass. I mean, anytime you can take away team's second chances and average 32 rebounds a game, and you're going to be in great success. There's Wilkie now, forces one out, and here's another turnover. Cats are playing some incredible defense here tonight. Skip pass down to Patrick. Patrick's three-pointer. You bet! Addie Patrick, 11-3 Moundridge. God. Turning now is Olsen. She fires one through, and here's another turnover for Sterling. As Patrick now takes possession. Wildcats have come out. You know, Coach Huxman's one word to describe this team is passion, and they are showing it. They are very passionate tonight, absolutely dominating the Black Bears. Peacocks now finds her sister cutting through on a little twin telepathy, and it is good. On the line for another 13-3, excuse me. And an and one opportunity here for Hecox, and that one is all chords, so bumps up her free throw percentage. And she's been very good. Second-year starter, great rebounder, averaging 2.5 a game and 8.2 points a game. Likes to pump fake a lot as well. You'll see her drive to the baseline a lot. And another steal from Unruh and a left-handed finish. Cami Unruh on the board early with 6 points. Top here to Locke. Coming in for the game is going to be Conkling, and checking in with Stoss for Hecox. Roller now dances up top at the top of the key, pump fakes, finds her post. She gives that one right back down, and a tip pass there from Unruh with a great block. Unruh averaging a 0.3 blocks, so she ups her total pretty big. Skips this down. Kamiko drives, finds Unruh in the corner. Unruh's three-pointer just in and out of the iron. And Hecox tries it from where she did, and that one is just off. Another great rebound for the Wildcats. And a timeout for Sterling. Once again, cleaning the glass with integrity. An absolute thriller for the Cats. Cleaning the boards, doing everything. Their game plan is working. Anytime you have a game plan that goes 100% in your favor, you're going to be set for success. And an 18-3 lead is certainly getting them there. And if you're just now joining us, the Cats have played, as you can tell by the score, some immaculate defense here. Sterling needs to be able to get the ball in the playmakers' hands, and they need to score. They can't create bad shots, and you can't drive in and it's double coverage, and that's what they did. Great screen there as a triple trap there, confusing play. And another steal here. Unruh drives in with a head of steam and lays it through. Cami Unruh, 20-3, 8 points on the night. Proving that why 15.5 points a game. Driving through here is Locke, and she will bat it off her foot, and a frustrating first quarter for the Black Bears. As the den is filling in, and it will be packed tonight, so should be a very big game here. And last time both guys' team played, it was a 54-52 finish as Unruh drives through, puts one up on a little reverse there. It was 52-54, excuse me. An absolutely electric finish. Then those teams met up in the state semis, and Moundridge ended up winning. Girls are taking care of business as usual tonight. At this rate, they are going to improve to 5-1. As that one ends the drought for Sterling. That's number 1, Blaine Locke, for our first points of the night, and 20-4. And she misses that one. Here's another rebound and puts a little too much on it. And Hecox nutmegs through a defender. And skip pass down to Patrick. Patrick draws a double team. She floats back up. Unruh shakes and bakes at the top of the key. Hands this down to Hecox. Hecox to Stoss. Patrick fires one up there, and that was just off the front of the rim. Unruh looking for something. Her and Hecox are the only starters in, and Conkling is off. Her three-point percentages aren't very high. She's a freshman, not afraid to let them fly. 21 three-pointers on the season, averages about 3.5 a game. As Sterling breaks up that 18-0 run since probably about the 5-minute mark. And Unruh will get called for the foul. (20-4), 1:16 left to go in the first. And Unruh jumps up top, finds Ravenstein. She finds Wohler. Wohler's elbow shot is just in. Breaking it up again, starting to crawl back here. Julia Wohler on for 2. Unruh has 8, leading this pack. As Patrick tries again, and that one is just off. Tried to get the bank to roll and couldn't. Hines one down here again, another triple here. Olsen gets on the board for 3, 20-9. Sterling gaining some momentum. Stoss finds Unruh. Unruh thinks about it. Hezi pulls inside and throws that one off the front. Top is Ravenstein. She thinks about one, and she will go to the line. Unruh now with 2 fouls in a minute. She will not come out. 2 fouls in the first quarter, so in a little bit of foul trouble. As Ravenstein now gets that one to go. It's 20-10. Sterling on a nice little run here to close out this first quarter strong, looking to make this a 1-digit lead, and she will with another free throw, excuse me. And Unruh heaves one up at the buzzer, and that one is just off the top of the iron. So close. That one will not go. 20-11, Sterling crawling back here, and Moundridge losing some late first quarter momentum. As we welcome you back for second quarter action, 20-11. As Sterling, big late quarter momentum shift there. As stopped an 18-0 run and did not look back. Garrett back down to Ravenstein. Ravenstein puts one up, closely guarded by Ryerson, and what a shot from Ravenstein. She leads the team 7 points as Patrick tries a short corner three, and she will get that to go. Finds a short corner jumper. She has 7, and Unruh checks off. 22-13 as piercing in to that lead of the Black Bears. Izzy Durst now checks it with Ryerson. Ryerson down to Hecox. Hecox to Kamiko. Kamiko fakes right. Spins back left around and a left-hander finish, and she gets it to go. Macy Kamiko piercing through that zone. As Kamiko gets her three-point play to go, she's on the board with 5. Ravenstein, who just had that nice little play right over Ryerson on a floater, and she gives this one down to Roller, who's been quiet today. 2 points. Ravenstein right back out here to Olsen. Olsen's three-pointer is off and rebounded by Hecox. Patrick drives wide open and throws that one up and will draw the foul. Going to the line for 2, hoping to make her point total 9 tonight. Patrick, a great shooter, really finds her way into the game at the start, as you saw. And banged a three-pointer right on that right wing in the first. As Patrick's free throw is good, and she gets her three-point play to go. She's on the board now with 8. Tying Unruh, so both are combining. And Ravenstein thinks about it, just scored on Ryerson again. She goes straight up and fires one up and blocked by Ryerson, and she will go and get fouled. So Unruh and Patrick combining for half their team's points, 16 total between them. And Patrick gives that down to Hecox as she loses the ball, and coming up closely is her, and this one is another turnover. So back-to-back turnovers for both teams. It was kind of the story of the game at first, and then Sterling got a full timeout, got some momentum back on their side, and they're back in this ball game, only trailing by 13. Hecox now to Patrick. Patrick drives through in that 2-3, lays it up, and that one's off. That's off of the head of Kamiko. Now Ryerson down to Hecox. Hecox's three-pointer is off, right back to her. She gets this one up to her sister. Her three-pointer is just off the top, so there you go. There's those rebounds again, and they're a very physical team, as you just saw. Wooler now closely guarded by Patrick. Great on-ball defender. Conrad now. Think about it. It's Katie Conrad. Great. Again, Ryerson and Patrick are two great on-ball defenders, and she throws that one out. Now to Hecox, who's running with a whole head of steam down to Ryerson. Ryerson's layup is good. Harper Ryerson on the board tonight with some impeccable defense up top. You give pressure on ball, they throw it away, and she gets a transition layup. And here again we go, as running through, looking for here is Patrick, and she will score. So great on-ball defense. They're pressing up, applying pressure. Ravenstein thinking about it, closely guarded here. They switched off, and Ryerson was guarding her, and then Huxman made the switch. Hands this one down to Wooler, and another steal for the Cats. And off of that little press they started, (30-13). Cats are really gaining this momentum they lost there in the late first quarter, as big on-ball defense, and that's kind of what you want. Shifting down through here is Garrett, and post up top. Kamiko wisely taking a step off. Walk down to Ravenston. Her three-pointer bangs off the top, rebounded by Hecox. Hecox drives through, puts one up, and a huge block there from Sterling, and rebounded by Kamiko. She gets this on to a sitting Patrick, and Hecox gets fouled. And a whole new group of players are going to be coming in. It's coming off everyone, coming on is Durst, Patrick, Unruh, Stoss, Hecox, and Conklin. And Aspen puts one off the top, gets the bounce, and she comes in. Great elbow shooter up top as well. Provides great extortion of rebounds also. As Ravenston fakes one way and throws one off before she travels. Unruh driving through, puts one up, and that one is just off again. Hasn't really finished well in the second quarter so far, held scoreless. His Locke's three-pointer is just way outside and to the left. Durst over to Hecox. Hecox now looking over and really trying to run these plays here. Chip away a little time. You're up 32-13, almost a 20-point lead. And Conklin again missing her three-pointer. She's not afraid to let those fly. As there's an air ball straight to her teammate there from Olsen to Locke. Locke now to Ravenstein. She puts up a wide open cutting through the lane layup. 32-15, inching back is Sterling, and that Euro step from Unruh is just off the top, rattles through. Rare miss from Unruh. Still scoreless in the second quarter. Olsen, quiet tonight. 3 points off of a three-pointer in the first. Olsen tries a spot where she made it earlier, and another offensive rebound for the Black Bears. It's kind of in this 3-2 zone, is shutting them down and really trapping out, keeping that up top. It's great defense. I mean, Sterling really not doing anything, and Ravenstein goes in with her 9th point of the game. Heacock stops and pops in the short corner. That one is just off. Rebounded by Ryerson. Ryerson down to Conklin. Shot 2 3-pointers today. Setting back up the offense. Unreal at the top by the Whisker. And Conklin again 0 for 3 from 3 tonight. Garrett now pushes one off and Stoss pickpockets her. 32-17 now, pushing down in the final seconds of the second quarter. Unreal, wide open triple. Her 3-pointer is just off the front. Pulls it off. And so far, Black Bears a little frustrated on how tonight's game has gone. Down 32-17. Plenty of ball game left though. Driving through now is Unruh, and another miss. Frustrated, he throws the ball out. Conkling back down to Ryerson. Ryerson to Heacox. Her 3-pointer is just off. Rebounded by Conkling, and she gets the and one. Not giving up on the play is Conkling, and wisely goes to the line for an and one opportunity with 3.8 seconds left to go in the second quarter. In the double bonus now are the Cats. And her free throw is good. Driving through here, 1.8 second left. Needs to get a shot up and she will take too long. And that one is off, so 35-17. Moundridge, a whole head of steam, looking to coast in the second half. As we'll be back in 10 for action, the second half action. So welcome back. Second half action coming your way. Cats played some pretty impeccable defense. Holding an opponent to 17 points and a half is not an easy thing to do. So anytime you can go around and do that, you're going to be set up for success, and that's really what they have. Sterling, though, really showed some flashes of success in that late first quarter. Really kind of drove in there, had a lot of opportunities. Moundridge started out 18-0 run as they traded points at first, and then they went on that run. Sterling broke it up with a free throw from Ravenston. And so far has not shook off Moundridge. Closest deficit was 10 points tonight. Unruh up top now, guarded by Wooler. They really like to run man defense here in these certain times, but often now when you're down by this, you switch out into your zone. So they're running their 2-3 zone. They have Garrett up top guarding Kamiko, and that one is a miss from Peacocks. And stolen right back is her. Kicks out to Unruh. She steps up and passes a long pass. And Patrick's three-pointer now is just off the top and going to float up top. So Wildcats can't take the lid off. Great offensive rebounds. He's locked now. Skip pass down over to Olsen. Olsen trying to get something going, and there's another skip pass to her, and her three-pointer is off. And they're getting open shots, which they didn't get in the first half. Which is big as Unruh. Scoreless since the first quarter, lays this one up. Stuck at 8 points, cannot break the lid. Right back here to Wooler. Wooler's three-pointer is good. Cutting the lead down to 15 points, 35 to 26-44, as Wooler is on the board now with 5. Hecox tries a three-pointer of her own, and it is good. So trading three-pointers, 38 to 20 now. Wooler now just coming off her three-pointer, overthrows Ravenstein. Unruh. Down to Patrick. Great pass there by Unruh, and that one is just off from Hecox. And fast-paced action. It's 5:48 left to go, 38-22 in the third period. Gnawing her way through this defense here is Wooler, and she kicks this one out. Ravenston up top. Drives in, made a floater over Ryerson in the first half, and is continuing that success. She has 11. Patrick, heave pass down to Hecox. Hecox takes a three with a hand in her face, and it doesn't matter. Patty Hecox, 9 points now. Block up and over and draws a foul. 41-24, 4:49 left to go in the third. And Sterling, there we go. So overall, 4 for 5 from the free throw today. With great free throw shooting and looking just to limit turnovers and get quality shots up. I think that's one of the best things they can do is just get quality attempts, and you're going to have some success. And that's kind of the moral of the story here for both teams too. Quality shots have kept Moundridge in this game, kept them up big, and they haven't fallen out of the game like Sterling. They're patient and they like to drive in. You see there, they like to drive in with Unruh. Immediately throws that one up, and running back here is Locke. Olsen drives through, blocked by Conkling, and pushing the floor now is the Cats as Unruh drives in, pushes one back out, who 0 for 3 from 3 today is Conkling. And Hecox fakes right, goes to the baseline, finds a cutting Kamiko, and it's good. Great court vision from Hattie Hecox, and she gets an assist. 45-26, 3:57. Full timeout. We'll be back in 1 minute. .347, 45-26. And Unruh with the steal, but steps out. Way up top there, another turnover for Sterling. As Conkling gets this, who had a nice and one opportunity in the second quarter. She misses that one, right back down to Kamiko. Kamiko to Unruh, her three-pointer doesn't get the bounce she needed. Driving through is Kamiko, another great shot there. And she has 9. She's been an incredible finisher, 6.3 points a game. Loves to kick out to Kimiko spins again, puts her in a spin cycle. Can't finish that one, but gets her own rebound and kicks out to Patrick. Patrick now thinks about a three of her own. She takes it, and that one is just off. Trapping up top now is Unruh and Conkling, and closely followed behind. Kick out pass now, and that one is fumbled by Shackler Olsen. Peacocks now, they really like to often get a lot of curl opportunities, as you're going to see here with Unruh. Just like that, and she floats that one off of her hands. And Patrick will check in for Unruh. Allie Gray now in the game for the Black Bears. Hasn't gotten a lot of opportunities. She fires down to Ravenstein. Ravenstein up top over to Gray. Gray commanding her offense. Driving through is Locke there, and she throws that one off of Hecox's left hand. And checking in is Ryerson for Conkling, so a little freshman on freshman trade. 47 to 28. Locke goes baseline, and Allie Gray kind of poked that ball out, and she dives for it now. And that one is just off. As Hecox with some incredible hustle. She saves it from being out, or retained by Sterling, and now Sterling driving with a minute left in the third quarter, so probably will be a running clock in the fourth. And there's a Big Ten bucket from Katie Conrad, putting them up 47-30, Moundridge leading, 17-point lead, and Huxman will call a timeout. So this big momentum from Sterling, you know, they're not completely out of it yet, and if you're Moundridge, you're far from out of the woods. I mean, it's 47 to 30. They went on an 18-0 run themselves, so if Sterling can go on a similar run like that, they'll be right back in this ballgame. So welcome you back after that full timeout from the Wildcats. As both teams have stayed out of foul trouble. Nobody in foul trouble for either sides. Driving here is Hecox. She puts one up and wanted the foul call but couldn't get it. As Locke drives down, closely on ball guarded here, and shakes her defender off. Gray pump fakes right. Aspenstoss right on her. Allie Gray tall, up 5'10", and that bucket is good from Allie Gray, her three-pointer. (47 to 33). Wildcats going to look to get up a last second shot in the third quarter. And they will call that a charge. And that one is off. 47-33 heading into the fourth quarter. Welcome you back as Cami Unruh is on the board again. 12 points, 8 in the first quarter. As Moundridge looking to coast to a win, only averaging 10 points in the fourth quarter, mainly because they're up big late. Pretty impressive point differential of 23.3. Cami Unruh back at it again as she's got 14 now. So 7:07 left to go, 51-35. Skip pass full court from Hecox to Hecox, and that one is a turnover, so 6:41. Sterling 4 for 5 from free throw. Ravenstein right back to Gray. Gray made a three-pointer in the third. She throws a silver rope. And she gets this one back herself, and that one is just off the front. And another rebound for Hecox. And Hecox had pretty impressive rebounding tonight with 6. And Hallie is going to throw one down, so they do end up connecting on a full court skip pass this time around. Hecox wants to try something here, and she gives this to her sister. She drives in, puts a left-handed floater up, rebounded by Kamiko, and a rare miss down low for her. And timeout Sterling, half timeout, 53-35, 5:42 left to go in the fourth. Stolen by Kamiko. She drives through and puts up a finish, and it's good. Macy Kamiko with 11 tonight, season high. As Unruh drives through in a crowded lane and gets the N1 to go. Unruh is 16. And Unruh is off. And Patrick is on. So trading points there is two leading scorers for the Cats. Unruh, wide open three-pointer is good. Cami Unruh taking advantage of a sleeping Black Bears defense as the Cats are looking to put them to bed with 4 minutes and 36 seconds left. And Unruh again with this nice steal. As Lockdown down over to number 11. That's Lyda Webb. She's in for the first time tonight. Sterling's starting to put their bench in as Garrett is going to find Olsen on a three-pointer, and that one rattles the rim. 3:53. Good chunk of clock eaten up there. 63 to 35. And that one is good. Macy Kamiko again adding to her season high. She has 13 tonight. Getting close to her career high, which was 17 last season. And spinning one through there is Ravenstein. Leading scorer for the Black Bears, she has 15. And Patrick's three-pointer is just off and rebounded by her. Timeout Sterling, 2:58 left to go, 65-37. .253 left to go, 65-37 as Cats are well on their way to 5-1. And Ravenstein's three ball is no good. Right back down to Patrick on the top of the key, running clock. So looking to get it out of here are the Lady Cats with a win in about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And flying around is this ball, and Wildcats do a great job at ball movement. Conkling's fourth three-pointer of the game is too long. She has 3 points tonight. Ravenstein floats one up, and yet again she's shooting, but I mean, as she shot, 17 points tonight. And she's one of the leading scorers in the HOA as well. On an 0-6 Sterling team, soon to be 0-7 when this game's concluded. Ryerson down to Conkling, her fifth three-pointer of the game, and fifth time is the charm, and she gets it back on the board as that one rattles the rim. 6 points tonight. And 1:03 left to go, and great game plan from Coach Huxman, and great finish from the Cats. 68-37 will most likely be your final score. As Conkling still trying as she drives through and gets a foul in the N1. 70-37. Cats are just increasing the point differential now. And they will not give her the N1, probably because time is going down. And Ryerson up top now. Still shooting are the Cats, and that one is good. 7 seconds left, 72-37. And last chance shot is no good. 37-72 is your final score, excuse me. Moundridge getting out 5-1 this season. Sterling falls to 0-7. Moundridge increases its HOA play to 3-0, and leading your pack is Cami Unruh with 19 points. Closely followed was Macy Kamiko with 13. As don't go anywhere, we got a thriller of a game coming up. The Sterling Black Bears men's basketball team, a strong, solid 5-1 versus the Moundridge boys varsity basketball team at 6-0. So this one should be a great game. Very excited for it. Stick around. Joe better hurry. Tonight. Overall, the Cats coming in here undefeated, looking to go back-to-back, and they're on quite the quest to do so. They are looking very hot and very well at the right time. Anytime you can get hot right before Christmas break, you can head into the break with some momentum. You can come back. Game canceled against Trinity, against Garden Plain for the girls. Didn't affect the guys. They come back here. They play Sterling, who has one loss in the season, and that's to Great Bend in the Eagle Classic. So overall, you should be pretty good. Game planning for the Wildcats, I think really you got to struggle on not getting back. You cannot just play lackadaisical against this team. You got to communicate on defense. And if you're the Black Bears, I mean, you got to slow the Cats down, force them to commit turnover. They're averaging 8.2 turnovers a game, but also take advantage of a weak side post team that they have. They run a 5-out, so they should have plenty of opportunities to burn those backside posts on cuts and everything else like that. So it should be a pretty fun game. Very exciting.
Again, we welcome each of you to Moundridge High School this evening's Ohio American League boys contest between our visitors, the Black Bears from Sterling High School.
Starting for Sterling is number 0, Blake Smith, a 6-foot junior. Number 1, Zane Farney, a 5'11 junior. And number 2, Wyatt Newberry, a 5'10 junior. Coming in is Logan Isaac, 6-foot junior. If he sounds familiar, quarterback for the Cats. For the Black Bears, this football season. And number 23, Boston Eckert, a 6'4 junior. It's kind of their 5 slot. They don't run a post. They really like to run 5-out. Blake Smith, also junior, big guy, pretty strong. It should be a great matchup for whoever who's guarding him. Kaiser on Farney. Just like last season, it'll be a good one. The Den is absolutely rowdy here tonight. We are looking to get an absolute thriller. Tonight, packed house, a lot of people from different schools here. Not a lot of games going on tonight. A lot of cancellations, not here. Both teams showed up, ready to go, ready to play. Starting for the Cats are the same usual suspects. Number 2, Kaiser Knitz. Number 10, Heath Churchill. Number 11, Henry Heacox. Number 14, Zach Dixon, and rounding it off, number 15, Bear Modelbog. Guys, looking in, it should be a great game. Cats are hot, averaging 60.3 points a game and only allowing 35.4. That's a 24.5 point differential. if you're counting. It should be a very great one. Sterling's coaches dressed for business here in their full-piece suits.
So tonight, Connor, we're looking at the number 1 seed Moundridge and number 2 seed Sterling. Going to be a heck of a game. Lots of good competitors. Lots of big athletes on the Sterling side, you know.
It is a very, very big game. Sorry to interrupt you there. Very big game, and it's rare to see these kinds of games early in the season. Both teams coming off Christmas break as well. Should be a very fun game, and I am very excited to. You're going to see Sterling really space the floor a lot. They don't have a post. They run a 5-out offense, so both LT and Zach are going to have a tough time navigating their way through. You got to be locked in on defense as well.
And yeah, that's one thing I know is that Sterling's whole starting lineup is juniors, so this is going to be the same team that they'll play next year.
Yeah.
Lots of young athletes.
They graduated a pretty big, hefty class there, graduating Gabe Riffle and Carson Gray last year. You know, both teams graduated some pretty key players. But, you know, both of them were starters. You know, Gabe Riffle and Carson Gray made up their posts, and they don't have it. We're going to talk a lot about this 5-out offense. It's pretty interesting. But also I want to highlight Wyatt Newberry, too, closely guarded here. He's going to be on Newberry, and it's getting rowdy in here, as you can see. We're excited. And tip it off now. Moundridge in the white, Sterling in the black. Churchill up top, hands out to Hecox. He spins around, looks down to Knitz. Cat offenses, they're really big on finding ways to get inside. You're going to see a lot of the drop-off opportunities to Dixon, as Dixon is going to travel. And a rare turnover from him.
You know, on the Wildcat side of the ball, they've been getting ready for this matchup all week and during break. They knew Sterling was a team of competitors, and they brought some action is what they need to do.
And any time you can come in there and you have a team like Sterling and you have 2 weeks to sit there and prepare, and Sterling did the same thing with us. It's going to be a big game. Eckert now, 6-man last year, is starting this season. Same with Newberry. And that one will go off. And Sterling, they also graduated Isaac Breyer, who was a big-time three-point shooter for them last season. So the only returning starters for the Black Bears are number 1, Zane Farney, and Blake Smith. As Eckert's first misses, traditionally, Moundridge claps until Sterling scores their first basket of the night.
You know, Eckert looks for that 3-ball. You know, he'll get his jab, maybe get to his drive. He's got a good bag. Tough, athletic kid.
And Moundridge immediately going over to Modelmog for a 3 and rips it away as Dixon, and he can't put it back on his finish. Dixon with a costly miss there. And getting burnt is Churchill by Newberry, and driving right, finishing right. Sterling on the board early. Sterling did take a pretty lofty lead coming into the den, last season as well. Got out to a 13-3 lead last year at the Cats Field. I mean, they're no stranger to being a crowd against them.
You know, Wildcats no stranger to Sterling. They played them throughout state, had a good run last year with them, so they know what this team does. They're really prepared for this game. We'll see a good matchup tonight. Yeah, this team is familiar with each other, and like I said, both teams didn't graduate a lot, as Modelmog tips this one to Knitz, and that one is just off the top. Modelmog closely is nearing 1,000 points, and he tips that one through, so now Bear Modelmog, 29 points away from 1,000. There's Farney now, who played a pretty big role for the Black Bears last season. Floats one up, and it gets a charge as Knitz, and some great hustle there as Logan Isaac gets the foul. And he was the quarterback for the Black Bears this last football season. You know, Sterling's coach really emphasizes a steady pace. You know, don't get those unnecessary turnovers, those second chance points. They're going to crash every board tonight, and we're going to see Boston Ecker and Newberry go up for those rebounds and try and tip that back in so it goes their way. And the Cats will make a sub early. Keppel Adolph, number 12, will check in for starter 11, Hecox. Yeah, and Adolph comes in early a lot of the times when someone either gets in foul trouble or if they mess up. So Adolph, kind of a spark plug off the bench. Anytime you're down with momentum, they really like to go to Keppel. And a skip pass down to Churchill. Churchill hasn't made a three all season, 0 for 5. Looking to get his first. And Logan Isaac and Zach Dixon are getting a little chippy down there. Sterling loves to run this 2-3 zone. Not a lot of drop-in opportunities. As Dixon's going to spin, bodies up Isaac and puts one through. Zach Dixon showing out.
And that's exactly what I've expected to see tonight, is that Logan Isaac is their dirty guy. He's going to get those rebounds, get those hard fouls. We'll see that a lot.
As that one is off from Eckert, who had a few big threes in the game last season. As Adolph drives right baseline, hands this one down to Modomog. Modomog has a point already, and he puts that one in. There, Modomog on the board for 4.
Good floater by Modomog there. Really athletic kid.
And Newberry down to Farney. Farney dribbles right. Lost Churchill there is Newberry, and he gets away with that. As Hecox actually comes out with a little bit of a mouth problem. He's over there by the trash can spitting out some what hopefully looks like not blood. It looks to be a little tooth problem. Hopefully he is okay. Churchill tries his three-pointer, and that one is off. Modomog, a deep three-pointer. You bet, there, Modomog, 9-3 on a big three-pointer.
And that's to be expected from Modomog, the shooter at Moundridge, the star player to get that three early on.
7 points early from Modomog, has absolutely lit up this gym so far. Sterling needs to get some disciplined shots up. Newberry, who lost Churchill on his curl around, as Eckert thinks about it. Skip pass down there to Smith. And Smith spins on Modomog, throws that one off the cover guard. This place is packed and ready to go. Ready to erupt. You heard it, a Modomog's shot. Dixon puts one up on a left-handed floater, and that one is just off. As Schmidt will come in for him on the next horn.
You know, Dixon's going to have to work the boards tonight. You know, dominate the glass if they want to get those paint touches and off the boards.
Yeah, and you know, they're averaging, 11.5 offensive rebounds, and Isaac's three-pointer is just off. But they're averaging 11.5 offensive rebound. That's 11 second chance opportunities, and that is huge for them. And Dixon's going to have a tough night getting the ball from 3 guys in that 2-3 zone that Sterling's in. Cats love to play a zone, love to space out their shooters. Churchill now to Modomog on the wing. Just came off a big three-pointer. He skips this one down to Knitz. Knitz back to Adolph. Adolph drives right, puts up a left-handed floater, gets his own rebound, and he'll get called for a double dribble. As Newberry trots up the court, Sterling likes to do a lot of drop-in opportunities too. You know, they run that 5-out offense, and everything is designed for number 23, as you see there, Boston Eckert coming in. They really like to get the ball to him. He's a 6'4" finisher up top, and checking in for the game is Zach Dyschel. He is a freshman. Pretty lengthy kid, dunking in middle school. As he cocks now to Schmidt. Schmidt lobs one up over to Modomog. Modomog evades the out-of-bounds line. Adolph drives left, puts up what a finish from Adolph.
What an athletic layup from Adolph, never seen before.
What a wonky throw up there. I didn't even know what to say, but whatever works, works. Channeling his inner Kyrie Irving.
Great finesse from Adolph on that play.
Newberry over to Dyschel. Dyschel drives with Hecox. Knitz, and he throws that one out.
And you know, Connor, we can expect a den to get rowdy tonight because both teams are expected to win from their home schools. So,
yeah, I mean,
we'll see a good matchup.
Sterling's only loss was by 1 point to Great Bend in the Eagle Classic. I mean, both these teams are the top. You know, this is a battle of the Titans, battle of the Gladiators, you could say. And Modomog already in his bag tonight with 7 points in the first quarter. Knitz Motioning his offense for Hecox to set up. Hecox drives, stops and fires one down to Knitz, cutting baseline. And that will remain Moundridge ball.
Intelligent play by Knitz to let that go out and need a second chance opportunity for the Wildcats.
Yeah, 11-5. Sterling needs to start making their mark on this game a little bit earlier now. You can't go down in the second quarter. It's killer. You see the score, you think, oh my goodness, but I mean, in all reality, they're 2 3-pointers away from being right back in this. And Hecox puts up a floater right to Dyshell's hands. Smith drives it around, puts a floater up himself, and he gets the bounce. 11-7. 52 seconds left to go in the first. Blake Smith getting on the board now.
You know, Smith, great shooter. Got to guard up on him.
Yeah, he goes after anything. He goes to the ground after contact. I mean, he contests everything without fouling. He's a great defender. As you can see, he's playing great on-ball defense with Hecox. He's also not afraid to drive, and you saw that there. 11-7 now, 24 seconds left to go in the first. Knitz down to Schmidt. Schmidt is going to throw that one to the cheerleaders. And Sterling down by 4 in a crowded gym.
You know, if you're Wildcats here, you cannot let Sterling get their offense going or it's going to be tough to stop. You know, those lanky kids, they're going to get up and over some of our players, and same thing goes for the Wildcats.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, anytime a team like Sterling is going to come in, they're going to be dialed. They're going to be locked. So it's going to be a tough job for them. But Smith up top, dribbling him out. Going to try to get the last shot of the first quarter. And he will on the elbow. No, he gets this down to Newberry. Great court vision from Blake Smith. 11-9. What a first quarter, Joe.
You know, in my opinion, it felt like that first quarter was over in 30 seconds. Fast-paced game, going to keep an exciting crowd. Great game to watch. Lots of athletic kids, 11-9. Low scoring, which means defensive tendencies are going to show out tonight. And, you know, if you're Sterling, if you're Moundridge, when you check into that game, you're going to want to show off and say, hey, we're going to beat the second best or the first best team in our league.
Yeah. And you know, anytime that you come in and you say this is a defensive game, this game is more than capable of imploding with offense. If both these defenses start to slow down, both of these offenses are going to take advantage of that. That's why you have to keep your guys locked in almost every single play, or else you can fall behind. And anytime you have momentum, you got to cherish that, because if you don't have momentum against either of these teams, it's going to be a rough night for you. So maintaining both sides of the momentum, you can't lean one way. Both teams have done a great job at holding that momentum even. As we coming out, 11-9, absolute thriller.
You know, starting out the second quarter, if I'm Knitz, I think it's a great idea to test out Schmidt guarding their bid. You know, he's lankier than Zach, and I think he'll show out better.
Exactly, and you got to stay light on your feet, too. Both these posts really do have a tough challenge. They're not the quickest guys in the world, but they are more than athletic enough to handle playing against a guard. They switch off all the time. It's farted out down to Newberry. Newberry thinks about this, hands this to Dyshell, and a great defense from Churchill. Length on length tonight.
Especially Dyshell for Sterling, you know, freshman coming up, playing that huge role, being a leader early in his career.
Yeah, and hands this one down here as Hecox to Knitz. Knitz back to Modemog. 7:22 left to go, 11-9. And skip pass to Knitz. He thinks about one, drives left, puts one up right, and that one is no good. Farney with the rebound, tipped out by Knitz, but he retains possession, skips over to Dyshell, and he puts one up. Great defense from Schmidt, and that will be Sterling's ball.
You know, that's great ball movement by both teams. You know, Sterling's looking for that overhead pass to get those easy layups, because they know Moundridge won't get back as fast as they can, and if they do that well, they'll get the score fast.
Absolutely, and you know, they're getting it to Eckert, which they really like to do. Churchill with some great defense this time around.
You know, Churchill's a great defender. He shows out in every game on defense.
Knitz with it on the wing, and you are absolutely right. Churchill Just played some great defense. 1.2 steals a game, so there's nothing new, getting a few pokes in there. They're patient. They're really patient. They're running their Wildcat 5 offense. And they find Modomog, a deep three-pointer. He thinks about it, takes a step in. His three-pointer is just off the top of the rim. Driving down with a head of steam is Newberry, and he puts one up to tie it up. 11-11, 6:23 left to go in the second quarter.
You know, Newberry is a smart player. You know, he's going to look for what he wants every time, not get rushed, and take what he needs to get his team up.
Newberry, great athletic guy. You know, him and Farney really traded off a lot running the ball in football. And Modomog gets a jump in from Leighton Schmidt. It's really what they like to do. They like to keep their post up top, and they'll send Modomog around on a curl.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. All these guys got chemistry from football.
Smith puts a deep three-pointer up, and that one is off. Great rebound by the Cats. 13-11 now, 5:42 left to go. Churchill wide open from three. They give him space, and he can't connect. He's 0 for 7 from three this season.
You know, Churchill's not a bad shooter, but I feel like when he gets in that game, he just doesn't have the right mindset outside the perimeter.
And he doesn't get a lot of looks. That was a really rare open look for Churchill. He really cuts in a lot. As Modomog, deep three-pointer, and you bet! Death, taxes, and Bear Modomog from the spike line.
And, you know, Modomog, on the other hand, outstanding outside the perimeter. You know, he's going to make those spike line threes.
Eckert driving in, puts one through, and he gets the N1 on a foul from Churchill.
You know, Eckert's a very experienced player. You know, he'll take his man on an isolation and get that N1. Doesn't really miss open.
Yeah, he loves to go, you know, coast to coast, like you said. Not afraid to go in and finish on anyone. So overall, they should be pretty successful.
Very great player. You know, he's got the IQ of a basketball player. You know, he is an athlete.
And Eckert's free throw is no good. So Eckert with 3 points. He had opened the game with a free throw and makes that one. And Hecox driving in, gets called for a foul, and it will not be an N1.
Striker number 23 lost the effort his first team foul. Henry Hecox will be at the line to shoot two.
As Hecox will go to the line for two.
You know, Connor, one thing I've realized during this matchup tonight is that what Moundridge needs to do is get back on defense before Sterling can hit that overhead pass in transition and score that easy layup.
100%, and that goes for any game. As Hecox's second is good. So that goes for any game, you know, hustling, and Sterling really likes to punish you. They run. They're a very well-conditioned team. Eckert has not left this ball game, and he does not look tired whatsoever. Gets the ball back. Churchill played some great defense so far, and he will get called for a travel. Questionable call there on his travel. They don't like it. And Eckert will come out for the first time tonight. Checking on is going to be number 11, Cameron Morris. And number 24, Jacob Lewis. And then back in the game is Blake Smith. Churchill down to Schmidt. Schmidt to Knitz. He fakes, goes baseline, loses the ball on the backside of the rim. And that will be Sterling ball.
You know, thinking there, you got to realize what made Kaiser lose the ball. Was it a Sterling player, or did he just lose control of it? And, you know, the rest got to see that.
I think he just went up a little too quick and his hands couldn't come up. I think that's really the biggest issue. But, I mean, it's not an issue. I mean, he's a great defender. So he probably just got caught up. Morris's three-pointer is no good. Modomog trying something, gets a screen from Dixon. He stops, he pops, and that one rattles the rim.
You know, Modomog has great shot selection. He knows when to take those types of threes, and he can make that shot. That is a usual shot for him at practice. and in game.
Smith now spinning. He's had an unproductive night so far. Finds Farney. Farney down to Morris, and somehow Sterling still has possession, and Adolph is going to steal this one, going down 2-on-1, evades his defender but cannot finish.
And, you know, you got to realize Adolph has a whole entire crowd watching. Wasn't his fault. You know, nerves are always going to happen when you play a good team.
But he also had 2 defenders there, so it's a contested layup as Smith is going to swirl that one off.
You know, Adolph has the right ideas. You know, he's got 2 defenders on, still a tough layup.
And Matamog with 12 points really just wants to get active tonight, really wants to go out. Hecox, a wide open triple just off the top. Great rebound by Dixon. Dixon thinks about it, pumps once, goes up, and that one is off and rebounded by Sterling. And they will call a charge on Hecox. Sterling is not happy.
You know, that's where the calls start, that their team get flustered. They're going to get upset about that, and they're going to be out of the or in the wrong mindset to finish out this game.
And it comes to mind, you know, you just got to let them play through contact a little bit. Matamog thinks about it. Wants his triple here, 12 points with 2:42 left to go in the second. Hecox just had a corner 3 of his own. Fires one down. Matamog, wide open triple. You betcha! Bear Matamog.
You know, Matamog seems to be the #1 option tonight as he is 15 in the first half of the game. Incredible.
Eckert tries to match it, and he will. All chords for Boston Eckert. Spot-up shooter. 21-16.
You know, Eckert is a two-way scorer. He can score on that 3-ball and get to his dribble drive.
Adolph driving through, finds Knitz. Knitz in traffic, wants to get this one out. Matamog thinking about it. He's got the hot hand with 15 tonight. Matamog, a deep three-pointer, thinks about it. He's going to drive this one through himself, puts one up, and that one is off. Matamog 15 still, making up for more than half. Matamog with a whole head of steam running down and jams it through. Bear Matamog elevates, rises up, and slams it down. Smith drives through.
Matamog is the player to watch tonight.
Coming in the game, he needed to get 30 points to get to 1,000, and he now has 17, and well on his way here, 13 points away from 1,000 career points.
I think they do have the poster ready just in case. Great offensive tendencies from the Wildcats tonight in transition.
Yeah, and if you're Sterling's coach, you got to tell him, you know, don't let this crowd noise affect you. There's a lot of momentum on Moundridge's side, but it's not enough to bury these Black Bears, and they should have a great showing.
You know, that's usual for the Wildcats. A rowdy den, I would say, makes them play more efficiently.
Yeah, and, you know, Sterling feeds off of that energy, too. You know, everyone does.
Everyone does.
The fans are more locked in. We're more locked in. The players are more locked in. You guys are hopefully more locked in. Adolph wide open. Did the no-look pass to Lutz. Jesse Lutz's 3 is just off. He's now 4 for 12. Churchill drives through, bounces one off, and that one will be Moundridge ball. 23-16, 55.7 in an absolute showcase tonight.
You know, we knew this game was going to get rowdy, and we're only in the first half, so just expect double this in the second.
Yeah, second half is going to be huge for both these teams, and lower scoring game than I predicted. As Sterling more than capable of coming back. Moundridge really likes to eat this clock. You're not going to force your shot this late into the second quarter. Matamog thinks about it, pulls a step-back 3. Great defense by Cameron Morris as Churchill will travel. Got to watch those steps.
You know, Wildcats do have a lot of bench depth. They make a lot of subs early, which is good for them.
Blake Smith's three-pointer is just off. 3 people fight for it, and they will call an over the back on Cameron Morris.
That is over the back. But as I was saying, they do have a lot of bench depth. You know, they can sit their starters early and put some guys in that are not going to turn the ball over and run through plays right.
Yeah, and kind of I know their game plan early was to get a big on him. He usually comes in for number 5, Logan Isaac, as he has not been too active tonight so far. Knetz fades away on a stop and pop free throw, and that one is off. And Eckert's shot will go to the rafters. And that'll do it for the first half of action. 23-16. Joe, what do you got?
Great matchup tonight. You know, you said the score 23-16. Wildcats are up by, oh my gosh, 7 points. But we've seen great athleticism from Sterling. Boston Eckert, 6'4" junior. You know, he's their lanky guy. He's going to be their #1 scorer of the night. Putting Henry Heatox on him. Great defender. Tough kid. Physical guy. He's going to try and get those hands off and not let Eckert get to his spot-up threes or those dribble drives. You know, Sterling, on the other hand, they got to get their offense going if they want to close the gap. You know, Eckert's got to get hot outside the perimeter. Newberry's got to get to that, get to the rim and get off the glass, and Farney and Smith got to look at each other, you know, talk on the defense, you know, who's got ball, who's doing what. You know, recap of the other games, you know, JV, Sterling won by 20. Deschelle had about 15 points in the first quarter. You know, he's getting those steals, athletic kid. You know, he is a good athlete for his age, and I'm not surprised that he gets so many varsity minutes. You know, he is a good all-around player. C-Team, on the other hand, incredible game for them. 49-49 fourth quarter, goes overtime. Sterling trades off positions. You know, Moundridge did a bucket, Sterling gets a bucket, keeps the game close. We get the crunch time. They hit a couple layups. End score was 57-54, Moundridge won. Great plays from all around. You know, Logan Den Hartog doing his role. Atlee Lichty double-double, leading his team in scoring. No, for the great all-around players, you know. Heath, we'll see if he gets his 3-ball tonight. Expectations from Model Mog. But yeah, that'll send us to our second half action.
as we welcome you back to second half action of an absolute thriller here in the Den. 23-16, Moundridge has done a great job at speeding up Sterling, but they have locked it down a little bit, and Moundridge has done a great, awesome job of locking down Boston Eckert too. They really, really like to go to him, and he's been shut down to only 6 points. Setting up for an exciting finish here. Moundridge in the white, Sterling in the black, same as before. Let's have a great second half.
You know, we're going to see some action in the second half. You know, lots of physical, or what was I to say? Physical plays. You know, lots of aggressiveness.
Churchill down to Knitz, Knitz down to Modelmog, and one of the best things the Cats have been doing right now is getting the ball to him as he puts up his floater, and that one doesn't get the bounce he wanted. 17 points in the first half, 13 away from 1,000 career. And down to Smith. Blake Smith's three-pointer is all chords. Blake Smith on the board in the second half at 5 points now.
You know, that's a great way for Sterling to open up their offense, a three from him.
Modelmog now shifts around with a little bit of spacing down to Churchill. Churchill thinks about it. 0 for 2 from 3 tonight, 0 for 7 on the season. Knitz wide open triple. His three-pointer is just off, and nobody can really shoot this ball except for Modelmog right now. Newberry down to Isaac. Isaac's three-pointer. It's good. Logan Isaac.
You know,
23-22.
Sorry. Well, lots of 3 points from each team. You know, they're not afraid to shoot outside the perimeter.
And like I said before, they're going to want to come out. They're going to want to shoot. There's a lot of offensive implosions waiting to happen. Dixon passes this down to Knitz. Knitz down to Hecox. Hecox back to him. Hecox a deep three-pointer, and that one rattles the rim and out. Newberry down to Farney. Farney's triple, no good, rattles off. Great rebound by Eckert just to be stripped away from Hecox.
You know, Wildcats are doing a better job of slowing it down to their pace, playing their game.
Hecox over to Churchill. Churchill, Knitz. Knitz, he drives baseline. Fires one up. Modelmog does a great job at coming to get that. Closely guarded. They're going to face guard Modelmog the rest of this half, I bet. They imploded in the first half and is soon waiting to do the same. Churchill drives through and uses his tall, lengthy body to finish inside.
You know, Heath, great finisher off the glass, can get to that layup.
Eckert now, 6 points on the game so far. They're going to try to get to him. Hecox doing a great job and flips through, and that will be a jump ball called.
Way over the top to Eckert.
You know, Eckert really, likes to get the ball, like we keep saying, but he really hasn't. And Farney now to Smith. Modelmog closely guarding. Wildcats are not giving them any separation. They're playing some great on-ball defense. Moving their feet, pressing up good, keeping their hands out too. It's one of the best things I've seen. As Eckert falls on Hecox and skip pass down to Newberry and to Farney. Farney now. And they will call a foul on Modelmog. Is Mod's first team of the quarter. Now, lob pass up to Newberry. Newberry wanted to get it to Farney. Farney missed his three-point earlier, spins around, puts one through, gets the block, and an and one. Zane Farney with an incredible move.
And just like that, Connor, it's a one-possession game. You know, these teams are going to go at it for the remainder of the time left.
Yeah, and it's coming down to the wire. It's a lower scoring game than last year. Last year was 54-52. This one is nowhere close to being on pace to that.
Both teams shine on defense. You know, that's one of their strengths for both of them. Lots of lanky kids, lots of steals, lots of turnovers. What both teams have to do is try and mitigate that and get to their plays and just play some basketball, you know, just go for it. You got the lane, take it, you know. You see that ball, you think you can get it, go get it.
Coming down now, Modemog thinks about a three, had two defenders on him. Crossing over, looks up to Churchill, and Dyshell will come in at the next horn. Knetz now drives through, looks to get this to Hecox, wide open, takes a step in, pushes one through, can't get it to go. Churchill with the offensive rebound as Hecox with power dribble and put it through. So a nice sequence of events for the Wildcat offense.
And Hecox has a lot of strength, very dominant.
And Farney again, you know, showing why he's a good one. Farney really showing off his athleticism there. He had a great game against Kingman in there in their 1-point loss. As Newberry will get called for a foul inside. And the third quarter, this is where the fouls start adding up. I mean, you gotta mitigate them. Moundridge averaging 12.8 fouls a game. And coming over now is Knitz. Been quiet today with 0 points and plenty of assists. Farney playing some great defense, and that one is thrown off of Hecox's rear side, retained by Churchill, and another foul gets called. They'll go to the line for 2.
You know, that's the right look from Churchill, trying to get down in the paint and be aggressive off the glass. You know, that's what he does. You know, that's what he does in practice. He's good at that.
Churchill, a good free throw shooter, 68%, 11 for 16 from the charity strike.
So Connor, at this point, what do you think Sterling does, you know, to start swinging this their way, get ahead?
You got to be patient, and you got to keep playing your game. And you keep doing the things you're doing. They have played a great game. This is the first kind of adversity this late the Cats have faced since Lions. So, you know, they're no stranger to it. These teams are very familiar with each other, and they've gone a lot. So,
you know, now the reverse of that, what does Wildcats do? Need to not have that happen.
And Eckert go to a line for 2 on a foul from Hecox. Some people wanted to travel, so Eckert goes to the line. So to answer your question, what the Cats need to do here is apply the intensity. Keep playing the intensity. You know, the home crowd is going to back them up. It should be fun, and excited for the finish. And Eckert will go 2 for 2.
I was trying to ask you what.
Modemog spinning around, pump fakes one way, goes the other, and lays it in. There, Modemog, 19 points. Big three-pointer from Eckert, and it's all chords. Boston Eckert giving Sterling their first lead since the 2-minute mark of the first quarter.
You know, that's what Eckert does best. He's a good spot-up shooter when needed.
Modomog tries a three of his own. String music, Bear Modomog puts him back on top.
That's a great way for the Wildcats to answer after Eckert's three. Modomog gets his own.
A bad pass there from Sterling results in Moundridge ball. 33-31, they're going back and forth as Adolph will get a blocking call. He'll go to the line for two. Adolph, a 28% free throw shooter. Adolph's first. He doesn't get the bounce. So overall, I mean, this place is starting to get rowdy. Sterling is showing up. They've hit a few big threes. That three from Boston really swayed the momentum just for it all to be shut down by Modomog's three-pointer. And he has 22 points tonight. Farney down to Eckert. Eckert to Smith. Smith, who had a three-pointer earlier, shifts off now. Dyshell puts up his three-pointer. It's good! Zach Dyshell, the freshman, making a mark. His first points of the game.
Yeah, as I was saying, a good athlete, freshman, showing that he is going to be a good player throughout his career early on.
Coming down here, Modomog. He's hot already, got the high at 22 points, thinks about a three, doesn't take it, hands this down to Schmidt. Schmidt to Keppel Adolph, and Adolph to Churchill. Churchill drives down, finds a wide open Knitz. Knitz his three ball just off the top of the rim. Farney looking for Dyshell, who just made a three-pointer earlier. And puts one over the basket, can't get it to go.
That is the Kobe Bryant type of shot that we just saw.
33-34, 33 seconds left to go. 6 total lead changes. It has been nothing short of an offensive battle and even that defensive battle. Both teams are dialed in. It's going to come down to who wants it more. Adolph trotting back up to the logo. Lengthy kid, draws one off. Modomog has it. Went out to Eckert, and Eckert strips it away, and they're going to call that something. And that will be Moundridge ball.
Yep, Wildcat ball out of the inbound.
Connects to Modomog. Modomog, they're going to run this little merry-go-round offense until you get it. Modomog tries his deep three-pointer, contested, and misses wide right. 33-34, Sterling ahead by 1. We'll be back in 1 minute, and what a showing, 33-34. As we welcome you back to fourth quarter action here in the Den, Moundridge, Kansas, on January 10th. Varney down to Dashell. Dashell down to Eckert. Eckert flips around, and they're going to call a foul on Hecox. And that's his 4th personal, so one more mistake, he's out for the game, and Lutz will check in for a little bit. Lobs one up, intercepted by Knitz almost, and they're going to call that a foul. So believe it or not, Knitz almost picked off Sterling in both football and basketball.
What a good athletic play from Knitz. You know, had the right look, but the refs just saw something the crowd didn't.
And whenever the ball's in the air, there's really no rules. There's rules, but there aren't rules where the ball is contested. You know, it's kind of, you got to go up and get it. So he had 2 hands on the ball too. He didn't come into his face or anything. And big block from Knitz, making up for it. Twice in a row, he's had a big block in the 4th quarter against Sterling.
You know, I think right now Modamod wants it.
Modamod spins around, hands this one off to Churchill, and this 2-3 zone that Sterling in is not getting shredded. They're playing really good defense here. Jesse thinks about a 3, puts up a wonky floater and gets fouled, so he'll go to the line. It'll be his first free throw attempts all season.
You know, Lutz can get to his floater pretty easily, so it's not a surprise he's going to take a shot like that.
And he buries the first one.
Makes up for it right after.
100% from 3 this year.
And after Lutz's free throws, that'll give the Wildcats the lead.
And Churchill with some great defense, 35-34, Adolph pressures down. And rising up is a big Boston Eckert, but they're going to call that a foul. And Keppel Adolph will go to the line for 2. Moundridge wants a goaltend. But it wasn't a shot-altering block. I mean, it didn't alter the shot at all. It's a good call by the officials there to not call that a goaltend. And Adolph buries it.
Okay.
And Adolph's second is just off, rebounded by Eckert.
We got a close ball game.
And Churchill gets this off, tipped out from Knitz to his lap. Knitz walks up the floor now, 36-34, 6:31 left to go. Jesse Lutz, a wide open 3-point shot from the corner, and it rattles the rim and out. Dyshell tries a 3-pointer from his corner, and that one is off as well. 36-34 still remains, 6:13 left to go in the 4th. Modamog a deep 3-pointer, and that one is just off in his bag a little bit there. And timeout Wildcats. And that will be a full timeout. So Joe, kind of wrap it up real quick. Give us a minute breakdown.
So both teams right now, they're looking for anything on offense. You know, Sterling, they're going to try and get that triple, which will set them ahead by 1 point. And Wildcats, on the other hand, you know, they're trying to get to off the glass more, looking for that open 3. Modamod's calling for the ball. I know he wants it as he's close to that 1,000. I think he'd rather do it against Sterling, the 2 seed so far. To show putting up 30 in a game would be wild.
As we'll be back after this timeout. As we welcome you back, as Churchill now comes in, step back, elbow corner shot, and it is good. Churchill puts him up by 8. And falling down, Knitz gets it. He under the whole head of steam. He puts down closely defended by the shell, and it doesn't matter.
That's a great transition from Knitz there, getting that easy layup.
Blake Smith's three-pointer just off the top, almost rebounded by Eckert, 40-34. This is getting crazy in here. .5:13 left to go in the fourth. And they're going to call that a foul. Foul's on Boston Eckert, his first personal.
You know, Eckert's got 3 so far, so he's going to have to look to keep his hands off of Modomog as they finish this game out.
Lutz tries another corner 3, and it's good. Jesse Lutz on a frozen rope. Timeout Sterling, 4. What a shot from Jesse. Cats are up 9, looking to put them away. As we welcome you back, 43-34 Moundridge on a 9-0 run. But don't expect the Black Bears to not come back. They are about to implode, and they're well coached, so I could definitely see them hitting a big 3 here. They're going to want to get to Boston a lot here.
You know, in the matter of threes, it is only a 3-possession ball game if Sterling executes right.
Farney down to Dyshell. Dyshell backed out to Smith. Smith thinks about it, takes a step back, draws a double. Smith drives through, puts one down, and they're going to call a charge. Kaiser Knitz putting his body on the line.
You know, the den is getting rowdy, student section screaming, fans are getting involved. A great game to be here tonight.
Jesse, who just hit a 3 earlier, big three-pointer as well. It is getting rowdy in here. Modomog trying something, scoreless in the fourth so far. Lutz shifts around, hands this one down to Churchill. Churchill gets the ball stripped away. Incredible hustle by Zane Farney. As that'll be a foul on Churchill. His first personal.
You know, Sterling there playing great defense, didn't let Moundridge get started on their offense. And if they want a chance to bring this ball game back, that's what they need to do the whole time.
Farney now to inside, and they're going to call that a foul on Churchill again. Farney now gives this one down to Newberry. Newberry to Smith. Smith's three-pointer just off. Great rebound tip by Wyatt Newberry to Dyshell.
You know, there's the freshman again, proven why he's going to be a dominant player. Into his mid-range jump shot is lethal. Athletic kid, not surprised to see that. Got a great game tonight, Connor. This is an exciting one. Wildcats have a comfortable lead, but Sterling looking to claw back. Still anybody's game.
Moundridge in third place in the HOA, behind Remington and El Saline. Closely behind and fourth is Sterling. So a big win in the standings for whoever comes out victorious tonight. Knitz brings up the ball. 3:34 left to go. 43-36. Don't go anywhere. Churchill now fires in through, and he gets called for his foul. And Zane Farney is not happy, and Blake Smith gets charged, and Churchill will go to the line. 11 for 16 coming into this, so a healthy free throw shooter. And that one is just off.
You know, just during the free throw, I don't know if it's been addressed yet, but tonight is buddy night. So if you see a bunch of orange posters, that is due to the basketball team having buddies, and that is what we're celebrating tonight. So great to see the youth getting involved.
And Churchill goes 0 for 2 and tries to rip it away from Nichelle, but he will get called a foul. That's 3 fouls in the fourth quarter for Heath Churchill tonight. Entered with 0. As Hecox will come in. Hecox is 1 foul away from fouling out himself. And DeShiel will come up looking for a big free throws. These are pretty big free throws for a freshman.
You know, as a freshman, you know, rowdy Jim, nerves got to be shooting through the roofs. You know, how do you handle under pressure? How do you stay composed in crunch timing?
And he did just that and goes 1 for 2, positive, as Knitz drives now. Churchill tries to find something, and he will, right over Newberry. Stares him down after. And Knitz's one word to describe this team before the season started was tough. And I think that's exactly what they showed. They showed a lot of grit tonight. And Newberry again finding Farney cutting, but blocked by Knitz. Knitz spins around, closely guarded by the shield. Motamog fights over, puts one through, down to Knitz. Knitz babs it on a lob. 10-point lead for the Cats. Sterling needs to gain some momentum. They're starting to lose it. Cats are slowly starting to drown them. Step back 3 from Eckert, and he doesn't get his foul that he wanted. That would have been a huge momentum swing. 47-37, 2:05. Motamog drives in, and they're going to call that a foul.
You know, I think Sterling is going to guard Motamog pretty close in these last couple minutes. You know, I don't think they want to let him get it on them.
1:57 on the clock, and Motamog puts that one down. Motamog, a pretty good free throw shooter himself. Coming in tonight, 13 for 17, 76.5% from the line. As he's trying to increase his point total to 23. Funny enough, Adolph coming into this had not missed a free throw. And Motamog buries that. He's at 23 tonight.
You know, free throws are a big thing at practice. You know, usually do that after every practice, so I'm not shocked he made both.
Deep three-pointer from Boston Eckert, and he gets the bounce. Boston Eckert with a big three-point shot. Just enough dead space on the rim to put that one through. And a timeout after that big shot. Down by 9 is Sterling looking to crawl back.
(49-40) is your score. 1:35 left in crunch time, and Wildcats got to play some good defense to seal the win.
And there we go from Knitz getting it started. Great job, game plan from his dad. Eckert trying something. There's a lot of behind the backs here. Puts up a reverse layup, and that one doesn't go. 1:23 left on the clock. 51-40 down by 11, and Sterling will foul.
Mod closing in.
24 points, 6 points away from 1,000. That one is good.
You know, at this point, I think Sterling knows the ball will be going to Mod very often.
And Mod makes it again, so 4 points away from 1,000. And Smith tries a deep three-pointer and gets it to go to keep the Black Bears in the game. Blake Smith trying something, and it pays off. Churchill flying down, puts one through. Churchill elevates, levitates, and throws it down.
Great finish from Churchill there, getting the slam he wanted all game.
Modamog steals it and most likely seals it. And he will go to the line.
4 away, Modamog.
Modamog 4 points away from 1,000. He will put that one through.
Modamog on the cusp.
And that one is good. 2 points away from 1,000 career. Needed 30 to get it. He's at 28. Eckert drives through, puts one up, and will go to the line for 2. And Hecox draws his 5th foul, and he'll be done for the night.
Connor, this is just in my opinion, but if Modamog does get it tonight, I think he'll do it on a 3. That's just my own personal opinion.
I don't think he'd shoot a 3 up big this late. I think it'd be off a foul, but I do agree he'd want to go out in style. Modamog is going to get fouled. And his 2 free throws away from 1,000 career.
You know, Modamog does not miss free throws, so this could be it. Cool, calm, and collected could hit the grand.
And his first is no good. He is upset. You're going to have to wait another night, most likely.
You know, you got to think that's just another shot.
And he puts that one through. Modomog 1 point away from 1,000 career total points. Playing tight defense, tips this one out, and they're going to call that a foul.
Smith's first free throw will fall. You know, that'll be a lane violation on Smith, trying to get the intentional missed free throw. I see the vision.
And they're probably going to try to get this ball to Modomog as looking to do their best. Mike Evans on the Buccaneers. 19 points. They know they're guarding him. 29 points total. Jesse doesn't take it as they are just going to hold it, and Bayer will come up 1 point short. And what a finish. Moundridge is going to win by 11 points. Undefeated in the HOA still. And Sterling suffers their first conference loss. And what a game here from Bayer Modomog. 29 total points. 58-57 finish. What a game.
Wildcats definitely shut out tonight. Modomog, the #1 option. 29, leading his team. Not even close, you know. Henry had 9 that came up close. Second leading scorer of the game.
And you can hear the din. The Dridge squad is getting rowdy. I believe we just won, and I think so too. Adolph lays it through, and that'll do it for us tonight. We thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please remember, subscribe for more streams of Moundridge High activities. Follow us on Instagram, same handle. Good night.